My first ever poker experience, I was, I guess, 19 years old. I was home from college for the summer after my first year, so maybe I was 18. But a couple of friends were playing, a $20 home game, and they asked me to come over and play, and that was kind of it for me. We played maybe 3 times a week for that whole summer. And I lost probably the first 30 sessions or something like that. So that's kind of what got me to fall in love with the game. I didn't think I was going to be any good at poker for a while. We, like I said, the first 15, 20 times we played that summer, I probably lost. And I was like, well, there's got to be something I'm doing wrong. So I started reading The Theory of Poker, which is kind of a terrible first poker book, but it's a great poker book, but it's a really bad one to read as your first book. You should sort of read something a little lighter, I think. But I just started playing and playing all the time. It was all I was doing. So I don't really think there was any point where I was like, oh man, I'm really good at this. I just kind of played a bunch and then I was good, I guess. I never had some sort of epiphany or anything like that. I think the transition is when you start to realize where you're making mistakes and where your problems are, and you can actually fix them and actually improve yourself just by self-analyzation. I think it's when you really start to realize that you're good at poker, because anybody can read a book and then be like, okay, I got to do this, 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 and this because that's what the book says. But if you can read a book and pick out the information that you think is good, or if you can finish a session and look back at your session and be like, I did this wrong, I did this right. I think that's really a really key element to being good at poker. Well, the highs and lows really come in when you, say you look back at a session and say you lost money, but it doesn't matter that you lost money, but you really feel like you played poorly, or you played well or whatever. However you feel after the session is really what kind of determines whether you or if you feel good about the day or bad about the day, regardless of whether you win or lose. If you're going for a month and you look back at that month and you're like, man, I played really bad. Even if you had a winning month, you still feel down on yourself, and you try to pick yourself up and figure out what's going on and why you're doing things wrong.